May peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you today. I have a very special message for you. A message that your heart may have been waiting for a long time, without even knowing it. I want you to stay until the end of this video, because at the end, I will make an invocation just for you, so that your path may be illuminated, your silence transformed into light, and your heart may regain the certainty that you are indeed evolving, even if everything seems calm around you. Are you wondering why everything is so silent in your life right now? Why isn't any big news coming in? Why are you moving forward without really seeing any results? Maybe you even feel like Allah has forgotten you, that you're stagnating, that your life is on hold. But let me tell you a spiritual truth that many ignore. Allah works in silence. What you take for a break, an empty season, is in reality a sacred moment where your soul grows silently. This message is for all those who doubt, for those who struggle in the shadows, for those who see nothing change despite their efforts and prayers. Perhaps you look around you and see others progressing, achieving, being seen, being recognized. And you are there, invisible, discreet, erased. But know this: Allah moves His most precious servants away from view to places where no one can distract or destroy them. It's not a punishment, it's a protection. In this video, we will explore a powerful reality. Your next level is already loading. You don't need to see or understand everything. You just need to believe that your Lord is acting, even when nothing is outwardly manifest. There is a divine language in silence that only patient and deep hearts can hear. And I ask you a question right now. What if this silence in your life isn't empty? What if it's a sign that something huge is brewing? What if Allah is repositioning you for something much bigger than what you're experiencing today? Many want to hear strong words, miracles, and dazzling signs. But the greatest transformations make no noise. Look at the seed. It breaks in the earth without a sound. But from that breakage, a tree grows. Look at the heart. It beats without you hearing it. But it keeps you alive. This is the work of Allah. Deep, invisible, but decisive. I'm here to remind you that you are not forgotten, that you are not arrested, that you are not left behind. You are simply in transition. And the transitions in the life of a believer are always shrouded in silence, patience, and hidden light. So sit back and relax. Open your heart. Don't judge your life by what you see, but by what you believe. Because Allah makes you evolve in silence, your level is preparing, your season is coming. And at the end of this video, I will pray especially for you, so that you do not miss this sacred moment that your soul is waiting for. You know, when Allah wants you to grow, He doesn't start by showing you the heights. He often starts by distancing you from everything. He gently removes you from the crowd, from the noise, from visibility. Not to punish you, not to abandon you, but to rebuild yourself in secret. Because before any spiritual elevation, there is always a period of withdrawal, a hidden phase, a season of silence. And if you're experiencing this today, it may be a sign that you are in full divine preparation. Look at the story of Moses. Before he became the liberator of the children of Israel, he spent years in the desert, far from Egypt, far from the people, far from everything he was going to rule. And why? Because Allah educated him in the invisible. The desert was not a place of forgetfulness, but a school. There are things you can only learn when you are alone with your Lord. When nothing distracts you, when nothing flatters your ego, that is where true transformation begins. What you are experiencing may seem bland, pointless, slow. But in truth, it is often in these moments without light that light is born. What you are experiencing is not an accident. It is a divine training. Allah takes you away to better elevate you. And sometimes, in order for Him to fill you, He must first empty you. Empty your heart of what polluted it. Empty your mind of illusions. Empty your life of destructive influences. And that takes time. It hurts. But it is necessary. There are gifts that Allah wants to entrust to you. But your current state cannot yet bear them. It must strengthen your soul, purify your intention, sharpen your patience. He doesn't want you to arrive at your future weakened or lost. He wants you to enter it with wisdom, faith, and clarity. And for that, He works in secret. He builds your future in secret, just as an architect works in silence before opening the doors of his palace. The Prophet Muhammad also, before receiving revelation, used to retreat to the cave of Hira. This was not by chance. It was a deep spiritual need to move away from the world to get closer to Allah. You too may be in your Hira cave right now. And that's not a weakness. It's a spiritual honor. It is a sign that something is brewing, that your soul is about to receive a message, a direction, a change. Don't be discouraged if no one understands you, if you feel isolated or even invisible. People do not always see what Allah is building, because when He works on you, He covers you, He veils you, He hides you, not forever, but for as long as it takes. Until your heart becomes stable, your gaze becomes pure, your faith becomes unshakable. So breathe. Embrace this silence, this invisibility, this solitude. These are Allah's tools to make you stronger, more spiritual, more aware. And when your time comes, and it will, you'll understand why He put you through this silence in the first place. You'll understand that everything you thought was a delay was actually a divine strategy to lead you exactly where He wants you to be. What you don't see is often far more powerful than what you can observe with the naked eye. In divine wisdom, what is invisible is often what is most real. And that is exactly where Allah is at work, in the depths, in the layers of your soul, in the places where others cannot enter. You may think that nothing is changing inside you because you do not see any outward results. But in reality, Allah is changing your inner self. Evolve your heart, your endurance, your faith, your level of consciousness. And it happens far from the noise, far from the applause, far from human validation. Never underestimate silent transformations, for they are the ones that give birth to a solid, rooted, resilient life. A tree only becomes strong because its roots are deeply buried in the soil. You don't see them, but they are what make him steadfast in the face of storms. In the same way, Allah works on your roots. He strengthens your faith, your intention, your patience, your sincerity. And no one sees this. But soon, everyone will see the fruits. You see, the believer is like a mountain. He makes no noise, but he stands firm. He does not seek the brilliance of the world, but remains stable in the love of Allah. And sometimes, for you to become that mountain, Allah must first extract you from what made you weak, scattered you, made you dependent on the gaze of others. He brings you to a phase where everything seems still. But in truth, that's where it all begins. You may think you're stuck in place, that your life is on hold, that your prayer isn't working yet. But the reality is every act, every tear, every invocation, every waking up for Fajr, every abstention from sin, silently builds a higher version of yourself. And Allah, in His perfect wisdom, does not always show you progress. Because if He showed it to you too soon, you might become proud or let your guard down. True elevation happens when you keep moving forward without seeing anything, but with the certainty that He sees you. You continue to be good, even when no one returns the good to you. You continue to be sincere, even when no one congratulates you. You continue to ask for forgiveness, even when your soul is exhausted. This is what it means to progress in silence. This is what it means to trust in Allah, even when your heart does not yet understand everything. And ask yourself this question now. What if Allah taught you constancy? What if He trained you in emotional stability, in controlling your impulses, in humility before the decree? What if all this was not a pause but a training phase? A soldier does not enter the battlefield unprepared. A believer does not receive great responsibility without being trained in silence. This is where you are, in that divine school that no one sees. What you feel as a slowdown, a silence, a darkness, is perhaps proof that your soul is growing. And you know what? It's precisely these invisible growths that will make you strong for what comes next. They're silent, but they're powerful. They don't show themselves, but they arm you. They don't shine, but they illuminate your future. So be patient. Keep walking, even if you see nothing ahead. For Allah has never stopped guiding you. And your next level is not a possibility. It is being built. Slowly, silently, but surely. You need to understand one essential thing. Allah's silence is never forgetfulness. This is often His most tender and protective way of accompanying you. When you feel that everything is frozen, that nothing is moving, that your efforts are not succeeding, it is not proof of rejection. On the contrary, it is sometimes the ultimate proof that your Lord loves you to the point of covering you, hiding you, preserving you. He works in the shadows to ensure you're ready at the perfect moment. And it's difficult, yes. It's painful not to have an immediate answer, not to see the fruits of your prayers, to feel as if you're alone on a deserted path. But remember a profound spiritual fact. Allah knows dangers that you do not know. He knows what lies behind the door you try to force open. He knows who would betray you if you were raised too early. He knows what wound would befall you if you were exposed before you were ready. And then, He's silent. He keeps you. He waits. This silence is therefore a mercy, even if it does not reassure you immediately. It is in this silence that you are protected from your own haste. It is in this silence that your soul learns to not to depend on visible results, but to feed on invisible confidence. It is in this silence that you learn that your worth does not depend on what you accomplish, but on what you become. Allah wants to shape your being first, not just your circumstances. Look at the waves of the ocean. They may be rough on the surface, but in the depths, all is calm. This is what your Lord does with you. He brings you down into the depths of your soul, so that you are stable in the midst of storms. And for this, He needs you to be sheltered from the tumult of the world. He extracts you from situations that prevent you from growing internally. He disconnects you from certain ties. He slows down external things to accelerate inner transformation. You may think that what you are going through is an unfair ordeal. You see doors closing, opportunities slipping away, people dying around you. But what if all this wasn't a punishment, but a divine strategy? A way to prevent you from falling into the trap of premature success. For anything that comes too soon often becomes a burden. Allah does not want you to be crushed by what you are not yet ready to bear. Think about it. If a fruit falls from the tree before it's ripe, it's bitter, useless, and sometimes poisonous. But if it ripens at the right time, sheltered and silent, it becomes sweet, nourishing, and beneficial. It's the same for you. Your silence is a maturity in progress. Your isolation is proof that you are in spiritual gestation. It is not a standstill, it is a refinement. And Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows that silence prepares better than words. He knows that certain truths can only take root in your heart if you go through phases where you have only Him, where you can no longer cling to people, to visible signs, to material certainties. And it is there, in this nakedness of the soul, that the true faith is born. A faith that does not depend on circumstances, but on the connection with Him. So when you don't understand Allah's silence, don't fill that void with your doubts, fill it with your trust. Tell yourself that if Allah is silent, it is because He is orchestrating something that you are not yet ready to receive. And soon, when the time is right, you will see, you will understand, and you will give thanks for having been hidden, for having been protected, for having been shaped without anyone seeing you. There is a secret that many believers are unaware of, and yet it is at the heart of divine wisdom. Silence is never empty. What you are experiencing today, this silent phase, without great upheaval, without visible miracles, is not a waste of time. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It is a moment of rare depth where Allah fills your heart with invisible but fundamental things. He has not forgotten you. He is shaping you silently. In our modern world, everything moves quickly. We must publish, speak, show, impress. But Allah does not act like humans. He builds in secret. He raises in the shadows. He works away from human gaze. Because what He is preparing within you needs no external validation. It only needs your surrender, your calm, and your trust. You look around you and see people moving forward, exposing themselves, harvesting, and you feel like you're stagnating. But in reality, Allah spares you the fire of premature exposure. Because being raised without preparation is like building a palace on sand. It can collapse in the first storm. And Allah loves you too much to let you break. He wants you to be strong, to be ready. So He hides you. He educates you in silence. He cleans you without making a sound. Silence is sometimes the loudest thing in the invisible world. For it is there that divine decisions are made. It is there that your heart learns to love Allah unconditionally, without results, without calculation. And it is in these silent moments that authentic tawakkul, trust in Allah, even without sign, without proof, without explanation. You stand up to pray. No one sees. You shed tears in secret. No one notices them. You struggle with your sins in solitude. No one applauds you. But Allah, He sees everything. He counts every gesture, every sacrifice, every hidden effort. And that's precisely why your level is rising, even if you don't realize it. Remember that the Prophet spent 13 years in Mecca, called without seeing any apparent victory. Entire years of rejection, loneliness, opposition. But all this silence was a divine incubation. When the light of Islam spread, it was ready, rooted, stable. Because she grew up in silence. You too are in this incubation. You are not forgotten. You are and stationed. Allah is preparing you for what you asked of Him. You wanted peace, so He removes you from the noise. You wanted wisdom, so He exposes you to silence. You wanted strength, so He puts you in discreet trials. Because what you are experiencing today is the answer to your own invocation. Do not interpret Allah's calmness as a refusal. See it as the silent construction of a miracle. He never does things halfway. When He acts, it is complete. And what He prepares for you is exactly what you need. Not what you necessarily want, but what will truly do you good. So don't fill your silence with anguish. Fill it with the presence of Allah. Don't try to fill that emptiness with the world. Nourish it with faith. For if you keep your heart connected, your silence will soon become an opening, a light, a victory, and you will look back with tears, and not of pain, but of gratitude for this sacred silence that Allah has given you. You are evolving, yes, but what you are experiencing now is not simply an expectation, it is a preparation. And if Allah takes so long to bring you to your next level, it is because this level requires a different version of you, a stronger version, more lucid, more aligned with what He wants for you, not what you want according to your desires or impatience. So ask yourself this question now. Are you ready to carry what Allah wants to entrust to you? For every elevation comes with responsibilities. Every blessing requires a heart capable of handling it without pride, without negligence, without ingratitude. This is why Allah does not rush anything. He first purifies the interior. He works on your intention. He corrects your outlook on things. He strengthens your tawakkul. And you, meanwhile, you may think that you are wasting time, but you are in reality under construction. It's time to get equipped. Prepare yourself in silence. Deepen your relationship with the Quran. Correct your intentions. Free your heart from jealousy, anger, and doubt. Heal your soul before it receives what it has so desperately asked for. Because if Allah is to take you further, He must ensure that you will not be destroyed by what you will discover above. And remember, the bigger the next step, the quieter the preparation. So if you feel withdrawn, alone, or in a dark place, don't worry. You are not forgotten. You are in the preparation phase. Allah is equipping you for something specific. And soon, what you experience in silence will burst into light, but only if you are willing to bear it with humility and gratitude. Now that you've listened to this message to the end, take a moment. Breathe deeply. Place your hand on your heart and realize this. You are not lost. You are on your way. Allah has guided you here to these words, not by chance, but because He wanted you to hear this truth. You are evolving in silence with Him. Your next level isn't a hypothesis. It's being written, slowly, patiently, without you having to force it. Nothing you experience is in vain. Every silence, every solitude, every tear shed far from sight. Everything is counted, weighed, kept by the Lord of the worlds. And soon, you will understand why He kept you away from certain people, why He removed you from certain situations, why He closed certain doors. It was for better align yourself with your true destiny. A destiny shaped by His mercy, not your impatience. So now, as promised, listen to this prayer. For it is for you, O Allah, you who never make a mistake, you who know what I do not know. I ask you today to elevate the one who listens to these words. Strengthen his heart, soothe his soul, grant him light in his silence, strength in his doubts, wisdom in his expectations. O Allah, make his quiet nights moments of transformation. Do not let him believe that he is forgotten. Show him that you are loving him, training him, and bringing him closer to his best. And when your time comes, open for him the doors that no man can close. Amin. If this video touched you, share it to someone who needs to hear this. Maybe you'll be the one who Allah will send a light into someone's life. And remember, what you are experiencing in silence today will soon be a resounding answer.